This is the Flair eWizard. I've been using it at home for like the past 2 months, and if you're using a manual espresso machine like I am, or a single boiler machine with a steam wand that could be a little bit lacking, I think this could be the missing piece of your coffee bar. I'm Riley Westbrook. I'm one of the founders of Valor Coffee here in North Georgia, and on my YouTube channel, I like to help people like you along their specialty coffee journey, whether that's through gear reviews, tutorials, education, the whole thing. And in this video, we're gonna be taking a deep dive review of the Flair eWizard. This is not a paid review. I do not yet have any relationship with Flair. I bought this with my own money and I use it on my home coffee bar. So the eWizard is basically a standalone steam boiler. And the thing I love about it compared to other at-home standalone milk steamer heater frothers is that it is a legit steam wand, which is what I'm used to coming from a commercial barista environment. I had the Nano Foamer Pro in my house, and honestly, I got some pretty inconsistent results from time to time, and I really wanted the control that I have when using a legit espresso machine, like what we use at our cafes, or a decent, or even a Gaggia, something single boiler. I like to be able to control the milk. When I saw that Flair dropped the Wizard, I thought it was a good move in the right direction, but since that is a stovetop design, I still wasn't keen on getting that. I didn't like the workflow of having to heat it on my stove. Then they dropped the eWizard and I bought it pretty much immediately. So this allows you to just plug this into the wall, and then it acts as its own standalone steam boiler. You fill it up with water, you turn it on, and it heats in around 5 minutes. And since it's not attached to your other espresso machine, in my case, a manual espresso machine, it's optional. Whenever I'm not using it, usually on the day-to-day, I just drink espresso and don't need the steamed milk. So it goes under the counter, out of sight, out of mind. But when I need it, I put it on my counter and it works flawlessly. The idea is that it heats up, and then the gauge on the top tells you when you are at the correct amount of bars of pressure, just like a normal steam boiler on an espresso machine would. It heats up, and then with the eWizard specifically, it stops heating when it reaches a certain point. With the normal stovetop Wizard, you don't have that because it's just gonna keep heating depending on what the eye of your stove is set at. So there is a steam release valve that auto switches on. If things get too crazy, you don't wanna cause an explosion in your kitchen. And honestly, that is the only area where I'm scared of this thing. Just any pressurized device. Really quickly, are any of you scared of pressurized stuff? No? Okay, I am, and every time I'm done using this even, it still has pressure in it. I have to wait for it to cool down or release the pressure. And I'm just a little afraid it's gonna explode on me, but it hasn't yet. And I haven't really heard of that happening to anyone else, so I think we're good. All right, so let's talk about who this is good for. I really think anyone using a manual espresso machine and who likes manual espresso machines at home, this is a great fit for you. I put out a video a couple weeks ago about why I think in a lot of instances, manual is just better across the board, no matter the budget for home users. So if you wanna check that out, we'll drop the card up top. But if you have a manual machine, usually that is going to get you amazing pressure profiled espresso for a cheaper price than what a lot of other pressure profiling capable machines are gonna cost you. The big hurdle for a lot of people in that situation is that they can't steam milk. This completely solves that. And in my opinion, you get the best of both worlds. You get amazing pressure profiled espresso and you get amazing milk quality. They're just modular and separate. So if you wanna just get in at this budget and you don't have the money for this, you can wait, save up your money, and then get this later. So whether you're using the Flair 58, the 49, one of their other models, you're using the Cafe Latte Robot, if you're starting there, you can always add this and then just make more variety of drinks within your home setup. But you can pull your shot and then instantly steam. There's no waiting. And then the quality of the steam that you're gonna get is gonna be incredible. The quality of the espresso you're gonna get is gonna be incredible. It's gonna be under $1,000. If we're talking about final beverage, not workflow, I don't think that you can find a better deal than that. The second person I think this works really, really well for is people who have a cheaper single boiler machine. Something like the Gaggia. If you have a machine like that, maybe you don't want to wait for that single boiler to heat up and then cool back down to pull your next shot, and so on and so forth. Or maybe you don't like the results that that steam wand produces. I can tell you right now that this is worlds better than the steam wand on the Gaja. You can make a good product on that. I'm just telling you that this is a commercial level quality steam wand, whereas that is definitely a home machine quality steam wand. So if you have a cheaper machine that does pull good espresso, in the case of the Gaja, that's true, then you can add this to the mix for not that much money, relatively speaking, and then really have a full machine upgrade that's not gonna cost you the price of a new espresso machine. The third group of people that I think will really love this are those who aren't even into coffee, but need a way to steam milk. Think tea latte drinkers. I know plenty of people who don't drink coffee at home at all. So why would they buy an espresso machine just to steam milk for their hot lattes? Oftentimes you see people heating up the milk and then using a milk frother, kind of doing that workflow. This kind of just takes that out of the process. You can make your matcha, you can steam your milk, and you can have a hot matcha or chai or whatever right away. All right, so we're gonna jump into actually using this. If you're enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate if you would like it and then subscribe to the channel. I have lots of other product reviews coming up soon that I'm really excited for, and then other educational tutorial videos, so come along. All right, let's crack into it. I'm gonna take the lid off, which is just a simple twist and pull up. The inside of this thing looks kind of crazy. There's some coils, there's like a little float valve to see where you are in terms of your levels. There's a max fill line, and then the entire idea is that this is heating up, creating steam pressure that's going to escape through the steam wand when you turn the knob. There is an on and off switch in the back, which is simply how it operates, the only button on it. So it's a button and a knob, and that's it. You kind of watch the gauge, and then again, if you do have too much pressure, you use this. I'm gonna show you why that is actually useful. Whenever I first got the machine, I was like, why is this necessary for the eWizard version where it's maintaining the correct pressure on its own? It is necessary, in my opinion, for this to be here. It just isn't why I expected it to be. So I'm gonna fill this up with some water. I already have right here, all the way to the fill line. Might not have to do that. I do it anyways. Going to put the lid on switch, and we're heating. So now you just have to wait. They claim 5 minutes. I've basically seen that myself. I'll run a timer right now in terms of how long it takes it to get to max heat. But the thing about this is, I don't recommend using this when it is at the max pressure. It rips, way too powerful. I can't steam good milk when it is at max pressure, and that is with me using the single hole tip. I've always used 3-hole tips for steam wands. I've always used commercial machines. This is a Kees van der Westen Spirit, and its steam boiler is extremely powerful. I can use it perfectly fine. When this is at max pressure, I am steaming milk like I work at a second wave shop who just doesn't care, no offense. I can usually save it after I tap and swirl for like 3 minutes, but I have personally found, maybe it's my lack of skill because now I'm just a corporate drone desk worker office guy, that I really like whenever the gauge is kind of in the in-between areas. So if you look at the gauge, the top range says 2.5 bars. If it heats all the way up to the top, will let off some steam until it gets down just somewhere in between. Think like the 1.2 to 1.7 bar range. And then I can steam the most perfect quality milk you could ever imagine. Again, I've tried many different machines out there. I've used commercial, I've used really good home machines, and this wand just competes with them all. And that's why I think it's such a good buy for how much it costs. All right, so we are at about 5 minutes at this point, and the gauge does say it is in the steaming range, and I would agree with that. This is probably the point where I would consider using it and know that I'm gonna get some pretty good steam. It might not rip through heating the milk as fast as it would if it's at the top range, but I know that I'm gonna have a lot of control over the steam. Let me show you. Good bit of condensation up front there, but after you kind of purge, you have a pretty dry steam from that point on, and it really shows in the final product. You can see not super powerful yet, but let's let it keep heating up. I'll let you know the time it takes to get to that top range after I just dispelled some heat, so it won't be perfectly scientific, but I'll let you know when it gets there, and then I'll show you what I do if I just, maybe turn this on, go take a shower, come back, make my coffee, and it's sitting at that top range, and how I usually let off some pressure to get a really good product. All right, well, something crazy just happened live on air. Every time I've ever used this device, it usually goes to that top range and then settles there and then just doesn't move. The heat regulates itself and it doesn't require what just happened to happen, because that is the hack to get the good milk. You have a nice top line side of things happening, and then if it does get too hot where the gauge says remove from heat, it does that manual purge, which it just did and scared me. And I think it's about to do it again. So let's see. I just heard the heating element kick off, interestingly, which shows me that I feel like it's gonna stay in that range now. So maybe there's just some user error going on here with how that steam purge valve is placed at the moment. But my fears about being scared of pressurized objects are coming to light. I'm gonna get over my fear since it seems like it's balancing out here. So just if you're skittish, then beware. But I'm going to steam some milk with it at the max pressure to show you how unskilled I am at using a high pressurized steam wand like this. And then we're gonna release some pressure, steam in the optimal range in my opinion, and then we'll pour some latte art and show you, you know, what this thing can do. We're gonna do the standard purge. Yeah, it's really interesting because now it's just stabilizing, so I'm not too freaked out. I'm just a little bit freaked out. Dude, I literally think it's climbing back up. Help! All right, let's do this. I think you guys can hear what's going on here. I mean, it sounds like a very legit steam wand as it comes to close. After all I said about how I can't steam with this, I cheated and used a latte pitcher. So I could steam on this size. However, whenever I'm at home, I'm typically using a cappuccino pitcher, and at this top line pressure, it's just too much. I just can't really handle it. But yeah, I mean, it is creamy, wet paint look, and I just can't complain about that. I don't know of a machine that I'm like, yeah, that makes way better steam milk. This is just really, really dry, really high quality, great whole steamed milk that I'm gonna drink. Shout out to Sprouts for their organic whole milk. Not a sponsor of today's video, but a sponsor in our hearts. All right, so with that being said, that amount of steam was a little bit too much for the day-to-day use. Again, if you're using lattes, you might be able to manage with it. But if you want to steam a cappuccino, what I would do is really just use it as it's heating up before it gets too hot. Or if it does get to that point, you can press that valve, or you can just release steam like this. Especially if this is positioned next to your sink, it's a really good option just to aim it over the sink, kind of let the steam happen, and then get it down to that range where you want to use it. It takes a while, so you know that you can really steam back to back to back to back drinks of this if you wanted to make drinks for several people at a time. So now that I'm in that optimal range, I'm gonna go ahead and flip it off. I might lose a touch of temperature, I might lose a touch of steam pressure, but that's fine. It's not gonna be anything too drastic. It's gonna remain because this is, you know, insulated and inside of this. And then I'm gonna pull my shot, then steam, and then we'll pour some latte art. Today, as in many videos, I'm using Free Throw, which is our favorite coffee for espresso. We've used it at our cafes since day one. It's a really awesome blend that tastes like milk chocolate with subtle fruity notes. Really great for really anyone who wants to drink coffee. You don't have to think about it too much, or you can think about it a lot and you'll like it either way. I'm using the EG1 with core burrs and a VST basket, really aiming for something that I'm gonna pull a little bit more restricted. I've been super into really shortening my shots and getting them dialed in shorter for cappuccinos. I've been really liking that thanks to my friend Kirk Pearson's advice. Just kind of is better to use less water when you can for cappuccinos / flat whites, Kirk. Took about 7 to 8 minutes for it to get to the top end of the heat range. All right, we are pulling this on the Flair 58 as a simulation of what we would be doing if we were ripping it manual at home. I had a 20-gram dose and I'm gonna roll with a like 32-gram output. I know, it's crazy tight. I'm getting wild, but like I said, I've been enjoying the tighter shots for my milk drinks, and Free Throw is just tasting really good that way lately. Little 1 bar pre-infusion for a couple seconds, all the way up to 9, back off. as we pull the shot. Okay, we have our shot pulled. I'm still in that optimal steaming range. I am just gonna flip it on just because, and I'm gonna steam this in a cappuccino pitcher. I love the articulation of this. You don't have to have it set up a certain perfect way on the counter. It's really great. If I was doing this at the top end of pressure in this cappuccino pitcher right now, I would be making an absolute mess. Even that is a touch bubbly, but that was just user error. And we're gonna easily be able to stomp them out just like that. Perfect. I have zero complaints about that in terms of the machine's ability. I'm gonna turn this off because I'm scared. Let's pour a cappuccino. A mid 4-stack tulip, but the milk texture is most certainly there. So yeah, really, I love this thing. It produces a great product. I love the articulation of the steam wand. I don't know if I mentioned that you can remove the plastic lining inside of this that makes it cool touch if you want just a pure steel pathway, which is great. You simply just take off the tip and then there's instructions for how to remove that. I haven't done it yet, but I don't really benefit much from the cool touch, so I probably will remove it just because. That's good milk. Again, you can save some money if you just go with the standard eWizard for the stovetop. As you saw, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of dealing with the heat reaching that certain point and then the automatic pressure release. I typically do the pressure release whenever I'm done using this so that things will cool down a little bit faster so that I'll be able to stow this under the counter because my wife can't stand this living on kitchen counter. It does clutter things and it's not the prettiest item. But if you need to do that, again, I usually just open this up and go that way in terms of releasing pressure, but I'm just so scared to do it, but I'm gonna do it. Ah! It works. And then it auto stopped whenever it got to an optimal range. The valve works. I think that it just got a little ahead of itself with heating on that first cycle and it needed to settle in, you know? Again, I would release the rest of it like this. That's just me. So in conclusion, again, if you have a manual espresso machine at home or you have a cheaper single boiler machine, I think this is a really option for you. Or if you drink matcha lattes and tea lattes, it's a great way to steam milk in your house without having a steam boiler tied to an espresso machine. I have not found a better way to do this that isn't the eWizard. Again, I've tried the nanofoamer. I've tried, heating milk and using the little frother spinny thing, and I prefer this. I think it is worth every dollar. And that is, again, without me having any affiliation as of the recording of this video with Flair. So if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see why I like manual espresso so much, you can check that out in this video I made right here. Peace.